So we move on to here. Who says billing has to take place right after the end of the month? And this is a tip, but it goes back to what I said before. I can't believe, and this is accounting firms, but it's law firms, it's anybody. Oh, they get around and the partners huddle, and at the end of the month, they sit down and they spend 3 whole days doing billing and whatever. Not only can you appreciate if you did the work at the beginning of the month, now you're waiting a whole 30 days before you get the bill out, and if you miss their cycle or they do it, it goes on, and my point, or you start seeing that they wait till the end of the month. I'm saying, I've seen all kinds of, depends on your company, depends on your operation, but trying to cycle bill, find out, for example, if you were billing the calendar month of, I put in my example, September, well, consider doing it August 25th through September 24th. If you're going to only bill every 30 days, even trigger that in. So it gets in. You know, you also should find out when businesses figure out they're making their payment, because a lot of them, if you do it a little bit late, you're going into their next batch that they may not pay until the 30th, and you can appreciate it that. And the funny thing is, because a lot of companies will set their their payments on a particular date, try to find that out, okay? But, you know, again, I think the issue really is sending out accounts receivable statements at least monthly, but try doing so separate from your actual billing cycle. So if you bill, you know, the statements could be done, you know, at a different time or whatever, following up on that. Again, I kind of like, especially in a service-oriented firm, finding out how long it's been there, how long the work in process, get it off his desk. You know, some people are doing effectively. I stopped doing this. We were trying to get technology-oriented. We stopped emailing the bill because we found for a lot of our clients, you know, we're doing everything now by emails, but the bills, it just upsets them, and they're going to give it to somebody else, and it gets lost. Maybe they pick it up on their iPhone, and I figured I'd rather have it in front of them and they push it aside, but that's been my personal choice. But, again, anything that'll speed it up, but you should still make sure that you follow up on it. I can't tell you how many people are emailing it to somebody that's not there anymore, or you find out you're sending it to the wrong person, not the accounts payable clerk or not the person that makes a decision. I suggest using window envelopes. I think everybody should use a return envelope. People have done it, and that's their personal choice. I choose not to put the postage paid on that because I found a lot of people are tossing it or not doing it, and they're going to mail it when they want to mail it, but that's your own call. But by not putting in the envelopes, I think you should just be doing it. The irony is I think you should use a regular-sized envelope because some of them won't even, the envelopes I get from certain vendors, I got to fold my check 4 times just to squeeze it in. I think you should, again, in the invoice realm, send it to a named individual using first-class postage. Don't just put it accounts payable. Try to find out who's doing it. And frankly, for large amounts, and really to make it impressive, you actually may want to use courier service, FedEx, or whatever. Okay? On my next one, this is similar. Provide priority processing for the large billings. You know, again, you can talk to your accountant or, you know, meeting with management to say if it's over a certain threshold that you'll deal differently with larger billings. We have it in a case, and you'll see that we consider we'll bill at least monthly, but sometimes often as weekly or even biweekly. Again, I think number 6 is just kind of logical, but I wanted to stick it out that consider immediately billing the client right after a positive outcome. I'm not saying, think about it in any business. You delivered a part, you got the new machine that they can start a new service. In the law firm, you just had a great settlement. The accounting firm, guy just got divorced or not, whatever the positive outcome is, that's when the client's elated. It gets harder and harder. If you're a dentist, you know what? All of a sudden, they remember it 40 days later. You know, they loved you that day when their pain was killing them, and they're on the chair. Then all of a sudden, 40 days later, it says, gee, I was only in the chair for like 15 minutes. That's a lot of money. And, you know, they start negotiating and realizing this. One of the things I wanted to say about a law firm, and this is a double-edged sword for the collection or CFO types we have on the phone, is that I've seen this especially in the fiscal year squeeze. You'll find a lot of businesses, especially law firms and accounting firms, but more law firms, all of a sudden they're getting the pressure on to their partners to collect the money. And that's when it becomes, let's make a deal. And frankly, they start cutting breaks because they want the money in, they want to get they want to get paid for it, their bonus may be on it. Salespeople start pushing deals to get it into this quarter or what have you. It's like the perennial car dealer the 30th day. And unfortunately, that's what some clients wait for. Now, if you're on the paying end of that, it's not my cup of tea. I don't really relish that, but some clients actually even defer payment waiting for that special deal. But, you know, watch out for that stuff. Number 7, pursuing the large receivables. I think that you really should be pursued more aggressively by telephoning and rather than going after the smaller ones. I think it's logical. You know, they went to the restaurant, they enjoyed the meal, they had 2 steaks, you paid for it right then. All of a sudden later on, if all of a sudden it's not just 2 steaks, it's a large bill, and you're kind of forgetting about it. Well, if it's all of a sudden they bought a $20,000 business appraisal from you, well, I again, I would want to follow up that one versus a $250 tax return, or what kind of businesses do we have. Even the banking client sees that. The credit and collection managers can appreciate it. I think it's also hysterical. Even credit and collection departments, they not only go for the smaller dollars, but when you're going down that receivable listing, they also have a tendency to go alphabetically. Now, that doesn't mean I want you to call AB, by the way, that's my name, ABO, but, you know, I don't, you know, again, I think you should set up some protocol procedures, redlining, large lettering, whatever it takes to set some priority going after those bigger ones. The other thing, which is not a seminar on practice management technique, but I just want to comment that getting away from the conventional billing model, that you may, you know, again, I've seen this gone in my career full circle. We used to, you know, always set, you know, a set amount, you know, a fixed fee, and then maybe you can balance at the end. You have a tendency to write off more. Then we started going with, this is crazy because we're not getting the service. At the end, all of a sudden we're saying, oh my God, we didn't consider this a special project, but it turned out to be a special project, and now we're waiting. So we then went from standard monthly budgeted amount to fixed fee, and now in recent years everything is competitive. We're going back to some law firms or service firms are doing some creative type of fixed fee with a kicker, reduced rates, maybe a value-added billing, maybe participating in the profitability. There's so much information, even tying in with your IT department, that if they give you the information and we can tie in costs with collectability, but again, that's in the billing, just getting away from, okay, we did this, the bill went out 10 days later, blah, blah, blah. Think outside the box.